Howdy, everybody. I just want to share a little update about something interesting today. This is so ironic how some things happen in life. Let me make sure I hit airplane mode here before I look like a fool. All right, so I was selling today in Alva at a new location. And it's weird, like some people may have heard my story about last week's um, uh, trials and tribulations where I pretty much got evicted where I was selling previously. And I was upset about that because I was more upset about it because it was closer to midday when I got evicted by the police for technically being a trespasser, allegedly. I'd been there 3 years, never a problem. But anyway, so I get home that Sunday night and I'm depressed. And so where I was selling all my fishing tackle was in a place called Alva, Florida. Many of you have already heard the same stories over and over again. This is for anybody that's new or incoming. So I know you're going to hear the crickets. It's just what it is out here. There's a water, there's a pond out here, lake, whatever you want to call it, and at least the ducks aren't quacking and the crows are going crazy, but it's just the crickets right now. But so I was contacted. I made a post on the local Facebook page for that town, and basically thanking everybody of Alva, for everything they've done, and just kind of let them know what was going on in case anybody had been looking for me. And I get contact, then I also asked them for suggestions. So I've been hit with this. This could be a positive thing in the future once my finances get better. But I was hit with a bunch of suggestions, so I was really, really happy with that. Really happy with that. And mind you, today is March 26th. It's almost 10 p.m. But I wanted to share this kind of interesting story. But one lady that contacted me was a lady named Paige Greenwell. So I did not put everything together. I know, pretty much a good bit about Alva, but I didn't really think much about it. But I had a bunch of people that had been coming up to me yesterday and today talking about a guy named Mike. Never really thought much about it. Then today, I see a guy get out of his pickup truck in front of my little setup, and I kind of recognized the guy. I'm like, I think I know this guy from TV. So and then I see, and I'm thinking to myself, is this Mike Greenwell? For anybody, I've never been a real big baseball buff, but I kind of know, like, I've watched ESPN and stuff like that. And anybody near or close to this region understands the name Mike Greenwell. He was, I believe he was pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. I think he played for 14 years. I mean, he had a big business out in Cape Coral, and I didn't realize he had so much impact in Alva. But so I'm just doing my thing, my little pop-up display, and I see a guy get out, and he's got a chain. He's got a really fancy number 39 that popped out of his shirt, and I'm like, 39, and I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking, all right, so now I'm putting the image I had seen in my head recently to the number. So there's a guy named Mike Greenwell who was recently appointed um, one of our county commissioners down here in Lee County, Florida. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure that's Mike Greenwell, but I'm not positive. So he buys a couple packs of baits from me, which were bruiser baits, which made it even more special. And he gets in his truck and leaves. So then, a little bit later, I'm thinking about that. So I'm thinking about that when I had some downtime on my phone. So I Googled what was Mike Greenwell's number in baseball, and it was number 39. So I realized, oh wow, that was that. Not if I said Greenberg, I meant Greenwell. Sorry, Mike Greenberg is the ESPN host. But anyway, something like, oh, that's kind of cool because he was just doing something on TV because he was county commissioner, and I thought that's why he looked familiar to me, but not a big deal. Like even if I 100% recognized him, I wouldn't, be like talking to him. To let normal people be, normal people, even though he's like somewhat of a celebrity or someone famous. It's not a big deal to me, but I just thought the correlation to today's events were kind of funny. But so people kept talking to me about Mike this, Mike that. Mike said there was going to be a guy out here selling fishing tackle. Mike this, Mike, and it never dawned on me until this evening. So I did a little research, and where I was selling, the fishing tackle today, where they have a really nice restaurant that is very, very popular to that community. The restaurant's called the Cracker or something, Cracker Grill or something like that. I forget what it's called exactly, but it's tied to the 31 Produce. So come to find out that Mike Greenwell is, I guess, like affiliated with this establishment. I don't know if he's the owner or, I obviously it sounds like he probably does own that lot. Sounds like he owns a lot of that around that area. So that was kind of interesting revelation to me that that they had reached out to me, believe it or not. So I feel like, that's just like a special thing, like he was cool when he talked to me. He never said like, hey, never said who he was or, like he's probably the owner, just checking me out like an average customer or whatever. But he was a nice guy, I will say that. So I don't know. I just felt like I needed to share that. You just never know who you're going to run into out there, and average, your meanderings or whatever you want to call it in your course of business, whatever. But so it's not going to change me any one way or the other. But I thought it was cool that I was reached out from a member of that family. Could be his daughter, could be his daughter. I'm not sure what the relationship is. Through some correspondence, I think she was identified as the daughter-in-law. So it might be through marriage or something like that. I have not met her face to face. I have not really. I only met one employee. It was one of the cooks or whatever who finally came out and talked to me. So I have not met any of the staff one-on-one yet. Just because it's a really busy restaurant. Produce stand kind of gets busy at times, and I figured eventually if they want to talk to me, they'll talk to me. If they don't like what I'm doing, they'll tell me to move or whatever. But I really am grateful for what 31 Produce and that Cracker restaurant is doing to help me out. So had another opportunity come up recently for another event next Sunday, so I'm kind of conflicted, but we'll see what I do. But I feel like in a way, I've always been a very loyal person to people who have been loyal to me. So we're going to see what happens. Yesterday, I did not set the world on fire. Today, I did not set the world on fire, but sales were a little bit better than yesterday. I think it's just going to take time for people to realize I'm relocated to a new location. So just wanted to share. Appreciate you listening to some ramblings. Talk to you soon.